Escalation has happened. The U.S. shoots down an Iranian drone as tensions escalate. And we're still having diplomatic talks, but I don't think that's the end all be all. It's time to do a pour over. We'll do 17 grams of black sheep coffee and 240 grams of liquid out. A nice afternoon delight, because there's things on my mind I have to think about that you should be thinking out about as well as escalations continue with Iran. And I don't think Israel's making it any better. We just got done with a lot of different stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on. And let me just kind of fill you guys in, think about what you should be preparing for mentally and all of that good stuff. Number one. So an F-35C, normally flown by the Navy. I'm assuming these are Navy pilots. It probably comes from the U.S. Abraham Lincoln that is in that area, shoots down a Iranian drone. And this is just getting more and more serious because it aggressively approached the ship in the, let's see, Persian Sea, Arabian Sea, whatever you want to call it. Literally this morning or earlier today, that follows something else that happened in the same waters, and which is another reason why I just kind of wish more and more we weren't so involved in some of this stuff, because it's like real life that we're having to do this stuff so often. So why was the drone approaching so aggressively? I have no clue why. I know that I follow some Iranian like state-backed Twitter accounts, and not only are they like, yeah, it was us, mofo, but they're also like, we're sending another drone so we can closely monitor what the USS Abraham Lincoln is doing, what other vessels in the area are doing. It's starting to kind of become a shit show. And within any type of moment, there could be something that calls for us to be a little bit more aggressive. The Iranian drone continued to fly toward the ship despite de-escalation measures taken by the U.S. operations in international waters. A F-35C fighter jet came from the Lincoln, shot down the drone to protect the carrier and its personnel. No American servicemen were harmed in the incident. No equipment was damaged, etc., etc. This comes as like President Trump is weighing a major strike on Iran. Israel is weighing a strike on Iran. There's a lot going on overall together where we're trying to figure out, like, protesters in Iran are asking us to keep our word, which, you know, protests started earlier this month. The president a long time ago said if they heard protesters kill protesters, we're going to be in that thing. That has clearly happened, and we clearly are not in that thing. They got a lot of drones, whether they're getting them from Russia or they're making them themselves. They make a lot of drones. Drone manufacturing is getting more skillful, more artful. They're getting better at it. Look how many drones are made by Ukraine and Russia like daily. They have just factories and farms pumping these things out. They're being sold to Iran. Like, you know, just immediate access to drones is not a thing that Iran is hurting for. So that's one threat that we have to, our service member in that area have to think about constantly, is the deterrent of, are we going to be able to quickly shoot this thing down, which we will be. But, you know, if they send 400 at us at the same time, can a strike group handle it? I hope so. So that's one thing to think about. But not just that going on in the area. 6 Iranian gunships armed with 50 cals approached an American flag Danish-owned vessel near the Strait of Hormuz in a threatening manner. They wanted to board the vessel. The vessel just sped up and fled, and the Iranians did not board. They eventually linked up with the U.S. vessel, where the U.S. vessel took them through the strait, past into Bahrain. But the thing is that the IRGC is getting more aggressive. Drones, they also are trying to board our vessels. I mean, we did the same thing outside of Venezuela. Are they trying to take that same measure? So now we're going to have to put boats in the water. So a part of our carrier strike group, we have the ability to put boats that are inside of our ships in the water to protect vessels, especially if they're flying our flag. We might have to start doing that shit, which is something else that can put us in harm's way. And once you get to Bahrain and get to that area, for the most part, knock on wood, you're kind of safe because we have a whole naval installation in Bahrain. But until you get there, you got a lot of stuff that's hanging out there. You got a lot of threats that could happen. And that was just like a very deliberate act, because those gunships attempted to board the vessel. They demanded to be able to board the drone, the gunboats. And then they're also trying to get us here at this, here at home. So they're tweeting, they're telling us that our leadership and the president is a PDF file. I'll let you guys fill in the words for that. And so they're attacking and trying to turn us against one another. They're also starting to deploy their cyber capabilities. And this is where I bring today's video sponsor, which is Aura, which is what I use for myself and my family to make sure that I'm A-OK. Doesn't matter if you're a public figure, if you're just a guy that goes to work, a mechanical engineer, or you're making it happen in a warehouse. In my opinion, you should be trying to protect your public footprint. I have myself, all 5 of my kids, and Mrs. X being monitored to see if any of our stuff is being used on the gray web, dark web. Also to see if our social security numbers are being used when it shouldn't be. And also one thing I like about Aura is it helps get rid of some of those annoying data brokers. That's probably like lowest on my list because right now, in my opinion, Iran is becoming the new North Korea. And their capabilities for cyber attacks and cyber warfare is becoming increasingly bigger. I had all my data stolen by China in 2015, or was it 2014? It was like a decade plus ago. Ever since then, I don't play around with my cyber footprint. Like, I don't care about that shit. I want to make sure that there's no access that is not allowed to my information. Literally, the other day, we got a notification from where Mrs. X Klarna account. Is that how you say it? The Klarna account was tapped or unauthorized use by somebody else. That's what we like to use them for, beyond their VPN service, data broker services. As we have foreign actors that are going to be doing more and more stuff like Iran, check the link down below to try your trial with Aura. I think you're going to like them as much as I've been liking them literally for 3+ years now. So we have all these different elements that we're thinking about. And then one of our strongest allies, and sometimes that little brother that gets you into a little scuffle with people and you didn't plan on having to get in that scuffle, but you have to anyway. Israel has requested operational freedom from the United States to conduct unilateral military action against Iran, even as we do diplomatic efforts to not have to go to actual military war. We're leaning towards diplomacy. They want to be able to lean towards using the military. They have their reason for that. They're closer to Iran. They feel like it's a threat. They got all this weaponry, blah, 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 blah. But if you know if Lil Bro get in a fight, you already know what Big Bro got to do, right? Like if Lil Bro get in a fight, I like one-on-one fights. You know what I'm saying? Get in there and be like, dang, bro, next time you get in there, Bob instead of Weave, because he knocked your bitch ass out. But us, we're not going to just tell Lil Bro to Bob instead of Weave. We're going to get up in there and we're going to jump him, right? And so if we take that analogy to its logical conclusion, if they ask for operational freedom for unilateral strikes against Iran, the unilateral strikes may first start that way, but ultimately, if it happens, we got to get up in there. We do. Why? I don't know, but we do. Okay. So it's just so many things going on in the area, which a lot of this stuff I thought were veiled threats. According to reports, Iran has sort of agreed to give up their nuclear program to get some of the sanctions lift off, but then their IRGCs being super aggressive in the Persian Gulf, Arabian Gulf, whichever one you want to call it. So it's just so many different avenues to think about. This all can come to a head within a millisecond. It takes one bad actor, an IRGC soldier who, instead of keeping his fingers safe and off the trigger, he pulls and squeezes down on that 50 cal. A drone launching a payload or launching itself in a kamikaze type attack. A cyber attack that takes down parts of our grids or individual people in America. Israel going at it and we having to go after them as well. Them going after one of our bases in the area, such as Bahrain or Qatar or any other installations that we have there, to include Kuwait. So many different things can get us drug into this shit all over again. All I can say is for yourself, individually prep when it comes to protecting yourself online. If you have loved ones, mentally think about them having to go over and get back into this fight. And if you are still of military age, just know that once again, there could be something that we could be involved in. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole thing when it comes to Iran. Is there a diplomatic solution, which I kind of was thinking was going to happen until what happened this morning? Or do you think it's inevitable that we're going to end up kicking the tires and sending F-35s and everything else their way? First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my great. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.